Sorry, guys. Hey guys, welcome back to Vanellope's Corner. So, as you saw with my last live stream, I was getting really frustrated and trying to play The Sims. It was supposed to be like a stress reliever, and for some reason it was making me really frustrated. I could not figure out the mods. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't give them the traits of drug addict or alcoholic or whatever. I couldn't put drugs in the house. I couldn't do anything because the mods aren't working, and I don't know how to make them work, and I can't find much online really. So I'm not sure what to do, and it's really frustrating. I did try. Oh, I did try something. I tried because they gotten downloaded from my computer. They got put into another folder, so I tried putting them in a different folder. So I tried putting them in a different folder. I tried moving them to the Sims 4 folder with the rest of the Sims 4 stuff, and that didn't work either. I still couldn't find the drugs. I don't know what to do. So it's really frustrating and it's aggravating me. I just want to play The Sims and it's really annoying. So I didn't want to go back to The Sims. I could have just played the base game and I probably will do that, but I just want to take a break from Sims. And I thought, what can I not screw up? What's not going to make me frustrated because it's not working? Fan fiction. And it's actually been a really long time since I've read any, fiction or anything. Usually. I used to have Fiction Friday, and I used to do it all the time. Like all the time, being my normal schedule with my videos being late sometimes, or like being gone for a couple months and not posting for a while. But they used to be somewhat regular. But I haven't done one of these in a really, really long time. Hang on, let me find out when my last video of this was. If I go to my channel, I can find out when the last one was. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I'm at 72 videos. Wow, that went up fast. All right, holy shit. I've done 4 videos in the last week. This is one, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Technically, that's still part of number 4. This is my 5th video in an entire week. But hang on. No, 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 no. Oh, there was Reading in the Heart of Darkness and reading The Experiments of Twilight Sparkle, and that was jeez. Alright. I read In the Heart of Darkness and The Experiments of Twilight Sparkle, and that was almost a year ago. But if you really want to talk about my last actual Fiction Friday, it was my last 2 uploads for my fiction readings were a year ago, but those weren't technically Fiction Friday because they weren't labeled as such. Is there an actual? No, that's October Spooktacular. Oh my gosh. My last Fiction Friday was The Guardian Angel, chapters 3 and 4, and that was 2 years ago. Holy Jesus Christ. Sorry, but you guys didn't know you would be interrupting my morning prayers. Just kidding. But seriously, I really want to read some fan fiction because it's been such a long time. If we go by the last time I actually read something, it's been almost a year since I read something last. But if we go from the actual last Fiction Friday, the one that was actually labeled as Fiction Friday, it's been more than 2 years. So yeah. I want to fanfiction, and this is something I can't fuck up because this isn't going to be like a game where some stuff doesn't work and then you're getting really, really pissed off and you're getting annoyed because you're trying all these different things and it's just not working. And I thought I could go like back to The Sims and just do like put in a different family in the house or just build another house and create another family. And I thought, yeah, well, I really wanted, but I thought about it for a while longer and I decided I wanted to read something. And I have some really good ideas for fan fiction, and it's gonna be like a 2 hour live stream, 2 hours ish. I always say like, oh, this live stream's gonna be 2 hours. This live stream's gonna be 3 hours. So this is gonna be about a 2 hour live stream, and I'm doing all these streams, and I might run out of power or not power, but like time for my live streams. So I might run out of time for my live streams because I think I only have the minimum, which is 20 hours, because I only have the free one right now. I can pay by the month for alternate um for like more time if I want to, for like unlimited. I think they have a plan that's like unlimited recording time and you pay by the month. I'll probably do that if I feel like I'm using it enough that I need it. I'm gonna try not to do that. I have other things that I want to spend my passport on. Like I just bought a new TV, so I spent my passport on that, and I want to fix my computer, so I want to spend my passport on that. I want to spend my passport on like a video game system. I'm buying a Nintendo Wii, some video games. I want to spend my passport on like an MP3 or an MP4 player. Because I really want to watch videos and I miss my old Zune. I don't know if you guys know Zune. I think I got one when I was like 11. I don't know. It was so long ago, and it was like it was such an old thing. I can't. They don't have it anywhere because they won't make it anymore. And the ones that I can find, they're like on eBay. And if I'm gonna buy something like that, I'm gonna buy it from Amazon. They don't. They kind of. I mean, I did find a couple on Amazon, but I'd rather not touch it. I don't know like how good they're gonna work. But if I am gonna buy like some kind of MP4 player or something, I'm either gonna go into like a store where I can get the receipt and return it if it doesn't work, because I've tried it twice with two other MP4 players and it my videos don't work. So there was the MP3 player that I already had that apparently that apparently you could put MP4 files on. That didn't work. So then we bought another like I think it was like $20 for this little MP4 player, MP3 MP4 player. Um Once again that didn't work. It it worked to download the videos and like I started watching them, but the thing is they got corrupted halfway through. So you could still hear like all the noises and the video was still going, but with just the voice, and then there was just this still frame on the screen of wherever it had frozen from. And I thought it was just the video at first, but I tried it with another video and it still did the same thing. And then I tried it with the third video. Guess what? Same thing happened again. So me and my mom are trying to look into getting me another MP4 player right now. And there's just like other stuff that's being picked up through Passport. I just got 2 new puzzles delivered that I think I mentioned this before, but I got a cat. It's the Cobble Hill Cat Library puzzle, and I also got one with a bunch of owl faces for my mom. So she loves owls. So I bought her puzzle and then I bought her that one, and I got them both for really cheap online. I think it was only like $30 or something and everything, and it came. And so I have to get that picked up through Passport. And I have to get some other things picked up through Passport. And I still have to make sure I have enough, because if everything's fixed in September like they're saying it should be, the movie theater is going to open up again. And I'm gonna start spending money every week on like movie tickets and movie tickets and also Uber trips again, because Passport picks that stuff up. But I have like a lot going on right now and I have a lot to spend my passport on. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it all for as cheaply as possible. So if I feel like I'm using this enough to where the point that I actually need it, I might do it, but I'm gonna try not to. If I run out of time on this, I might just do uploads or figure out another way or something. Like maybe there's another streaming site. I don't know. I've been using this like for a long time, ever since Nathan recommended it to me. I just jeez. You guys probably saw what happened. I accidentally, like, I'm trying to. The water just came out of my freaking mouth. I can't. Well, that was frustrating. Anyway, I don't remember what I was saying. Hang on. I don't remember what I was saying. Like I was saying, I'm gonna try not to do that. So, um, I was also saying about how I haven't seen Nathan here in a long time. I haven't seen or heard from him in months. I'm assuming, I don't know. I don't know what happened to him. Haven't seen him, haven't heard from him. He hasn't been watching my videos, so I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, okay, let's get this started before I think the reason why I'm having stressful time, such a stressful time is because I'm like deep into um the I'm like what was I saying? There's another no, I'm having such a stressful time because another lockdown is currently in place, and I'm really frustrated about it. And also, we were supposed to go see the rats at Pet Paradise this weekend, and I was gonna cuddle them for a bit. And we were also supposed to go to PetSmart because I have a $50 gift card from Christmas that I have not spent yet because my mom refuses to take me no matter how much I beg her. So anyway, I kept saying, "Oh, we should go see the rats before everything closes down. I want to go see the rats. I really want to go see the rats." I made it pretty clear how important this was to me, and she was like, "Oh, don't worry, it'll all be fine. Everything will be fine." Guess what happened? Everything's not fine. And I'm really mad about it. I'm mad at my mom about it because I told her this was going to happen and I told her we should go sooner before another. She even said a couple weeks ago when I was at my haircut appointment, "Oh, I think another lockdown is coming." Sorry, scouts going by. "Oh, I think another lockdown is coming." And I was like, "Okay, maybe we should finally go see the rats." And she was like, "No, no, we can hold off. We can go on the break." I'm so mad. We were supposed to do all this stuff this weekend, and she freaking ruined it. And now I'm pissed. I was supposed to get to see the rats. I was supposed to go to PetSmart. I told her this would happen, and she didn't listen to me. She doesn't listen to me, and then shit happens, and then my life gets ruined because bad things happen. This keeps happening. I don't know why she doesn't learn her lesson and just listen to me. I don't know why she doesn't just learn her lesson and listen to me. I wish she would just listen to me for once and not be so. God, so frustrating. So, guess what? We can't go. Gee, maybe she should have actually listened to me. I kind of warned her about this. I told her this was going to happen, and she didn't listen to me. I also told her I can't take an Uber anywhere because I don't feel safe, so I told her and I begged her. And 2 weeks ago, when I was getting my haircut, she said, "Oh," and like a couple of weeks ago, when I was getting my haircut, she said, "I think another lockdown is coming." And she didn't see how that might be a problem with me wanting to see the rats and visit PetSmart over the break. Awesome. By the way, they also are not selling what they consider non-essential items at my store. We went to the dollar store. Their notebook section was closed off. They're not selling any of that stuff. Guess what? Same thing happened at the superstore. How do they consider notebooks and stuff non-essential supplies? What about school children? I'm a writer. Those supplies are essential for me. So now I can't get a new notebook because they closed it down. They're still selling like groceries and shit, but it really pisses me off. I can't believe that this happened. If I'd known that they were going to shut everything down like this, I would have picked up extra notebooks the last time we went to the dollar store a couple of weeks ago. Okay. Sorry, this is so you can see how much this is frustrating me because this was supposed to be my break and we were supposed to go and do all this stuff. And I told my mom over and over and over and over and over and over. She never listens to me. I don't know what her problem is. Maybe one of these days she'll finally wake up and be like, "Hey, maybe I should listen to my daughter that when she's warning me so and so is going to happen, or when she's telling me that this is really important to her." Like, because this isn't the first time this has happened. I've told her this stuff before, and I keep telling her this kinds of stuff. I keep son of a bitch. I keep telling her this kinds of stuff and she doesn't listen. And I thought now that COVID is a problem and things are shutting down off and on, that maybe she would actually listen to me and would actually get it done sooner, but nope, apparently not. If this doesn't get her attention, nothing does. If this doesn't get her attention, nothing will. And I've told her over and over again how pissed off I am because I want to finally get her attention. Because this isn't the first time she hasn't listened to me about something, and then there's been consequences. There have been many, many times that she doesn't listen to me about things, even though I tell her blah 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 this and this, and she just doesn't listen to me, and then things happen. So I don't know why this hasn't gotten her attention yet, but I'm gonna continue telling her how pissed off I am because I want to finally get her attention to the point where next time I tell her something like that, she's going to say, "Okay, I'm going to listen to you," instead of just writing it off and letting it go and, taking it for granted, taking the fact that things are going to be there for granted. I didn't take the fact that things are going to be there for granted. I went to the movies every week I went to the movies like every week when it was open for that short amount of time that it was. And the other matter is how COVID is affecting my birthday, which is really pissing me off. Because some of the stuff I asked to do is not in the area. There's some stuff that I want to do that we can do because it's in the area. Like the Upper Cannibal, it's literally a drive away. And we have also like other stuff in the area. Like we have obviously there's the Burger King that we can go and get Burger King breakfast because we have one, I think like 15 minutes away. I don't know if that's for sure. And we also have like a couple of other things that we can do for my birthday because it's right there, like the Mastermind Toys, for example. Like it's stuff we do every year, so it's not like I'm asking her for anything that we haven't done before. And I ended up like planning a bunch of stuff out. And it's basically all the stuff that I always ask her for. And because things aren't going to be resolved until September, we can't really go in July and do like a lot of the big stuff that I wanted to do because it's all out of area. It's like I wanted to go to Toronto first of all. I wanted to get Krispy Kreme donuts for breakfast. Then I wanted to go and do the Harry Potter magic shop and maybe go to like the mall or something and shop there. And then I wanted to go to Blaze Pizza for lunch. Blaze Pizza is like Subway, but for pizza. They make it right in front of you. And you can put all your own toppings. I saw Derek Gerard do it in one of his videos. He was at the Blaze Pizza getting pizza for one of his freaking like challenge things. Pretty sure it was letting the employees decide what I eat. So not sure why I put quotes around that, but the quotes were for the title, not because it was like letting the employees, but he's not really letting the employees. Anyway, so I saw him talk about it, and then I looked it up, and I found that there was one in Toronto, and I even saw it there when we were there a couple of years ago for that, Harry Potter scavenger hunt thing. Not scavenger hunt, but like I don't know, whatever Harry Potter thing it was that me and my mom were doing. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like interrogating suspects and then finding the bad guy or something. Detective work. I don't know. But anyway, it's really affecting my birthday in a big way. And then there's also Brampton, which is a mall that I took an Uber to a long time ago. I think it was over a year ago. I think it was almost a year ago now. I think it was like in the summer of 2020 when everything was actually open and it wasn't a problem to go to those kinds of places. So yeah, I went there and they have Cinnabon, Bourbon Chicken, Mrs. Fields, and Burger King. So they have all those places. So my plan is to go there and buy food from all of it because this is stuff that I don't have near me that I can't just go and like eat there. I can't just choose to like go to, for example, Mrs. Fields on a Friday, uh, one time and get cookies there if I want to. Like, this is the kind of thing that we only end up doing for my birthday and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about it. And the thing was, I had a thing planned out when I went there in the summer for everything I was gonna do, and then I ended up forgetting to do Mrs. Fields. Yeah, I'm that stupid. Anyway, we also have, anyway, the point is, most of the stuff isn't in area, so most of it we're probably not going to be able to do by until like September. And then we just have, the regular stuff that we do at home, like watching movies and seeing the rats. Once again, Pet Paradise, we can do that because it's in my area. We have like just chilling at home. We have my dinner out. With my dinner out, which I like to do it like Jack Astor's. I usually do it at Jack Astor's. I have been doing it at Jack Astor's for the past few years. And then we also have stuff like, um, I don't know, chocolate chip pancakes, beef fried rice at home, um, like home cooked meals that I enjoy, but that I don't get a lot. So me and my mom enjoy doing. So I really enjoy doing that for my birthday. And then we also have like yeah, and then we also have, like my regular stuff. Like going to Mastermind Toys where I will buy another stuffed animal because apparently I don't have enough of those. But anyway, yeah, so it's affecting my birthday in a big way. So to combat that, I came up with this thing. Me and my mom are gonna pick a day every week, once a week throughout the summer, unless my mom's away because she's going on vacation, probably to see her boyfriend if she can get the shot on time. She hasn't seen him in a couple of years, so it's been a while. I don't think she's seen him since I think the last time was Christmas 2019. And then yeah, we've got my mom gonna go away, but on all the days, but on all the weeks, but the times that she's here, we're gonna choose a day like once a week, and we're gonna do just TV and games for like the whole day. So we're gonna start at like 3 in the afternoon, and we're gonna go for just like 8 hours. And I end up pick like TV shows and movies and games, and it's gonna be so fun. And then I have like a string of I think 3 days in a row, 12th, 13th, and the 14th, because that's all the area, because that's like right around my birthday, and it's all the area surrounding my birthday. It's on July 13th. So we're gonna pack it all together and put it in there, and then that'll be really, really good. So, um, anyway, it's gonna be so fun, and I'm really excited about it. So it'll just give me something it'll just give me something to look forward to every week as, we prepare uh, because as we prepare for it, the I I'm gonna start reading fan fiction now. Okay, hang on. Hmm. Hmm. All right. Hang on. So this one's called A Tale of Will Cipher. We're starting with some Gravity Falls fan fiction, and then we're gonna see how far we get. And if I decide I want to do other fan fiction, then maybe we will. I don't know. I'm gonna just start with this one. Hang on. It doesn't even say how many chapters there are. Hang on. Oh, 5 chapters. Okay. All right. So this is Reverse Falls. So there's Gravity Falls, and then there's Reverse Falls. And in Reverse Falls, we have Dipper and Maple. They're super evil, and they have demon powers. And they're holding Will hostage as their slave or something. I'm a little fuzzy on the details, I have people who probably know a lot more than me, if I can just get to you. Okay, chapter 1, Daydream Demon. Will tried to walk as quickly as he could down the grand stairs of the gleeful mansion. Oh, they're Dipper and Mabel gleeful. Wait! Okay, hang on. I think I made a mistake. Why does it say Dipper Pines and Mabel Pines and Bill? This is reverse falls. What? Okay, apparently. What? Wait. It says Mabel here. What? What is happening? Are Dipper and Mabel. Is it Dipper and Mabel gleeful? Then why does it say Dipper Pines and Mabel Pines? What? Okay, I guess I was wrong. Apparently, fanfiction can frustrate me. Why don't I know what's happening here? Why is this so confusing? I don't. Ugh. I, I. We're just gonna read this because I can't. Uh, Will tried to walk as quickly as he could down the grand stairs of the gleeful mansion. He had been in this human physical form for a while now, but it still took some getting used to. Besides, with only one eye, his depth perception was terrible. He really had to watch and be alert so he wouldn't trip down the stairs again. He held the broom and dustpan awkwardly in one arm, with a death grip on the rail with the other, and focused on putting each foot on the correct step in front of him. I sympathize. I have trouble with the stairs too because of my because of I have this because of my because of my like my 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 He reached the last step and took a breath of relief. He made it. He let go of the dustpan, but before it could fall, with the wave of his hand, he caught it with his magic and lowered it to the ground. He hummed quietly as he began to seep the downstairs main rooms. Hang on. Oh, am I not sharing my screen? Hang on. Let me just share screen. Yeah, I know. Jeez. Application window, Chrome tab. Go. Yes. Okay. He reached the last step and took a breath of relief. He made it. I already read that. Hang on. Oh. Yay. Okay. Anyway, he hummed quietly as he began to sweep the downstairs main rooms. It would take a while, but he didn't mind. Chores like this gave him time to think and hum and look out windows when nobody was looking and wonder what it was like outside today. Was it nice or a little warm? Are the birds singing? Cypher, what are you doing? A sharp voice whipped out. Will cringed and almost dropped his broom. Just sweeping, mistress, he answered meekly. No, you weren't. You were just standing there, staring off again. Look at me and don't you dare lie. Will reluctantly turned to face his mistress. She was about his height, but she wore bright blue stilettos, which made her seem taller. They almost made her look much older than her 12 years. But then the incredulity, the incredibly... What is with the grammar? The incredibly short skirt, black leggings, and tight shirt over her chest also made her look more like 16 than 12 years old. It was her eyes, though, that really made her look aged. They were brilliant deep blue, and they would have been beautiful, but you couldn't miss the cruelty in them. They were hard and cold, more so than any gem that could have been compared to them. Answer me, she snapped. I was just thinking, mistress. I'm sorry I stopped my work. I'll get right, Mabel, for that was the girl's name, laughed cruelly. You thinking? I didn't think you had it in you. Will didn't know what was a safe response to that, so he kept his mouth shut. With a toss of her head, she flung her waist-length hair back. Does Gunkle Ford need you any time this afternoon? This is making me even more confused. No, mistress, I'm just supposed to clean until your show later. Do you need me to do something? Yes, she drawled. I was supposed to go with Candy and Grenda, but their families are making them go do some family bonding time. Some lame fishing thing. I don't want to tag along and I can't go by myself. Oh, Will's eyes and voice perked up. You want me to go with you? Mistress, it will be such fun. Aw. Abel's laugh cut him off. You should see your face, so hopeful and happy. It's pathetic. She reached out and bopped him on the end of his slightly turned up nose, causing him to wince. No, you idiot. I don't want to go fishing. Can you imagine me in this outfit? She paused and gestured to herself. Going fishing? She continued before he could come up with an answer. Don't worry, though. We can still get some bonding time in. Will began to have a sinking feeling in his stomach. Yeah, me too. I need to practice my knife throwing skills, and I need someone, she leaned menacingly forward, and that sinking feeling was definitely there now, to be the target. Oof, that's not good. Will gripped his broom tightly with both hands. Mistress, he began with suddenly dry lips, I have to clean the house. Headmaster Ford will get over it, the house not being free of dust bunnies for a day. She reached out and slid two of her fingers underneath the bright blue manacle he wore around his wrist. Come along, let's go play. But I still need to wash all of the windows, mop, do the laundry. Cypher, she let go of his manacle and rubbed her first two fingers against her thumb. Do I need to snap my fingers? She asked darkly. Why, what does that do? Will lowered his eyes and absently rubbed at the chain links on both of his wrists. No, mistress. Then obey me and come on. Jeez. She spun around and started down the hallway for the stairs leading to the basement. With a resigned sigh, Will followed. Will was trying his best to be as still as possible, but it was really hard to be completely still when someone is throwing knives at you. Now, yeah, no kidding. Particularly if that person is using a hand mirror to throw them backwards over her shoulder. You are shaking too much. Hold still, she ordered for what had to be the fifth time. I'm trying, but your knives are getting really close. That last one clipped my hair. Jeez. That's the point, you stupid demon. I want to get as close to your stupid face as possible. Now shut your stupid mouth and for the last time hold still, or I will make you be still. Understand? Yes, mistress. Will closed his eyes and leaned back against the wall, bracing himself. He had an assortment of knives around his head, but no blood had been drawn yet. Will really wanted to keep it that way. He heard the sounds of her motion as she wound up and threw, but unfortunately he opened his eye to measure its trajectory and saw that it was slightly off. With a shriek, he dodged out of the way. Will! Mabel swirled around furious. You deliberately moved. What have I told you about that? But, mistress, the knife. It would have hit me. Then you stand there and take it, she screeched. She breathed heavily for a moment, fists clenched and staring daggers at him. You will be punished for your disobedience. Come here. She reached up and touched the jewel embedded in her headband. As it started to glow, she waved her hands in front of her body, and a small rod appeared between her hands. It was about 10 centimeters long and about 1 centimeter across. As Will slowly approached her, he couldn't help but be a little impressed at her skill. Sure, he could do magic too, but she was much better at it than he was. And her brother, well, he was in a whole different league. He stopped moving, though, when her blue flames crept out of her palms and into the rod, turning it red hot. I said, come here. Mabel didn't take her eyes off the rod as she focused. Mistress, please, I'm sorry. I promise I won't disobey you again. Please, mistress, have mercy. I didn't mean to move. It felt like his mouth had a mind of its own. He couldn't stop talking. He couldn't move either. All he could do was stare at the now glowing red hot rod in growing dread. Without looking at him, Mabel snapped her fingers. Will felt a sharp searing pain on both wrists from his chains, and he yelled as they jerked him forward the rest of the way to stand before his angry captor. Oh, okay. Please, 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 mistress, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm sorry, so sorry. Hold out your hands. Palms up. Her voice was flat and completely devoid of any emotion besides fury. Mistress, please, I beg you. I'm sorry and stupid and forgetful and slow. Please, I'll do better. She snapped her fingers again, and his hands were jerked up to her desired height. Flip your palms over. Trembling, he did as she commanded. Mistress, mistress, please, please don't. He could feel tears sliding down his face, but he didn't care. His voice was somewhere close to undignified groveling and begging, but that also didn't matter right now. Hold them out flat. Mistress, please, please don't. I'm sorry. Please stop. I'm sorry. He closed his eyes at the last second and braced himself. The pain was terrible. He screamed and his knees buckled, dropping him to the floor. The only thing that still supported him was the chains holding his palms up. He screamed and pressed his eyes against his arm, trying to brace against the pain in his palms. After what felt like forever to him, the chains allowed his hands to fall, also allowing him to slump against the cold floor. He curled up on his side and brought his hands up to his face. His palms were terrible, blistering black and red marks covered them. He couldn't move his fingers at all. He brought his painful hands up to his face and, taking a deep breath, got ready to flow his healing power on them. Did I say you could heal them? Her voice was cold as ice. Will was having trouble thinking through the pain. No, mistress, but my hands. This might help drill it home that you always obey me. Always obey me no matter what. She reached down and with a flash of her blade nicked him on the ear. There, see? Your disobedience got you nothing. Well, nothing but pain. Yes, mistress, Will murmured. He was having a really hard time following her words. He felt something shift in the air around him, though. Not so much in the physical plane, but on the magical side. It felt kind of like a vibration through the magic around him. Mabel felt it too. Perfect timing. Uncle Ford wants you. You better go. Okay. With much difficulty, Will focused and turned his inner eye to where he knew Headmaster Ford would be in the study. Teleportation was difficult already, but in his condition it was much harder. With as little effort as possible, he allowed himself to fall through his hole in reality to the study. Okay. Will crashed onto his side as he fell through. He lay there trying to push through the pain. It felt like it was getting worse. The cold floor of the underground study felt nice against his cheek, and just laying there for the rest of the afternoon felt like a good idea. He was vaguely aware of someone calling his name, but it was so hard to focus through the roaring in his ears, so he just laid there. He gradually realized that a pair of nice, expensive dress shoes came into his field of vision on the floor, and the deep, sophisticated voice familiar. Good blazes, what have they done now? Will felt himself shifted over and his head was propped up on something. He tried to resist when he felt his wrists being lifted up, out of fear of being in more pain. Stop it, Cypher, the voice commanded, and Will instantly obeyed. It wasn't just the tone and sheer will behind that voice, but he had obeyed that voice for so long now he felt like it was second nature to submit. He heard the voice grunt in disapproval. Why haven't you regenerated your hands yet? Wouldn't let me, mumbled Will. He wasn't sure if it was coherent or not. He heard the voice make a sound of disapproval deep in his throat. Will felt something press against his palm, but before he could react to it, he felt the warm, soothing power of healing flow into it. Will breathed easy and relaxed. For the moment at least, he was not in danger. Once the first hand was done, the same thing happened to the other one. As he was healed, Will opened his eye to take stock of precisely where he was. He felt a shock as he realized he was leaning against his headmaster's leg, with his headmaster crouching over him. He quickly dropped his eye from looking at his headmaster's face. Headmaster was very firm that a dream demon should never take the initiative to look in his master's eyes without permission. Instead, he focused on the six-fingered gloved hand pressed up against his, healing it. When that was done, he felt his head tilted to one side. She got your ear too? What is she thinking? Will sighed in satisfaction as his ear was healed as well. With a wave of the gloved hand, the blood in his hair and dripping down his face disappeared in a puff of blue smoke. Will felt his chin grabbed, and his face was turned from one side to the other to check for any more damage. Are you harmed anywhere else? No, headmaster. Good. As the hand removed itself from Will's face, Will reached out and quickly brought it to his lips, lightly kissing it. Thank you, headmaster. I appreciate your kindness, and he was cut off as the hand flicked him hard in the mouth. Don't be weak, Cypher. Kindness has nothing to do with it. You can't help me with my research if you're about to pass out from pain on the floor. The leg Will was leaning against suddenly moved, causing Will to almost bang his head against the floor. Now come along, we have much to do. Yes, headmaster. Will scrambled to his feet and meekly followed him to the workbench. Okay, cool. Alright. Author's note, shipping. I don't write with the intention to ship anyone with anyone else. I know Will Dipper and Will Ford ships are a major part of Reverse Falls, but that's not really my thing. Because of this, I write so the relationship between them can be seen as platonic, but still a little on the shippy side. So if Will Dipper and Will Ford ships are your thing, hopefully this will satisfy you. Welcome to my first real fan fiction. I had this idea for reverse falls in my head for about 6 months now, and even have the most of the entire first season mapped out. I worked on this on and off with the intention of putting up sometime in the future. Sometime. Well, I realize that now if I ever want to actually finish this, I need some kind of accountability. So even though this is nowhere near perfect, I'm going to go ahead and put it up. That being said, I would really, really appreciate reviews, partly because I see this as a practice for my writing. So if anyone sees any typos, grammar mistakes, confusing sentence structure, etc., please tell me. Hey, even if you just have writing advice, I'll take it. Also, like I said earlier, I need accountability. I'm aiming to update like once every week or two, about once every week or two. But it really is motivating to know people are actually reading and enjoying this. Thanks in advance for reading this. And double thanks for any likes, favorites, follows, and rewards. Okay. Why are there no comments? Jeez. Faves 40, follows 34. Oh. Updated September 7th, 2019. Wait. She wrote 5 chapters over 2 years. Wow. I thought she was aiming to update like every week or two, but guess not. Because it said it was published September 12th, 2017, updated September 7th, 2019. So yeah, it was written over 10 years and it was written over 2 years and there's only 5 chapters. Wow. All right. Anyway. Thought there was something else I was gonna do. Wait. What did I want to do? I forget. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. I don't remember what I was gonna do. Okay, I don't remember what I was gonna do. Anyway, no. Chapter 2. Okay, hang on. Oh, jeez. I've already been recording for almost an hour. I might just stop after chapter 2. I don't think I'm gonna go to 2 hours. Okay. Jeez. Alright. Chapter 2, The Magician's Great Nephew and Niece. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the main event. Mabel's voice boomed through the tent, causing the large audience to cheer and clap. Their butler wheeled out a large box with the twins' telekinesis symbol on the front. For this last trick, we shall need a volunteer, the audience screamed, everyone waving their hands around. Master and Mistress certainly have their pick of prey tonight, mused Will as he watched from the side behind a curtain. He was there mainly to help with special effects and to move props, even if he wasn't really ever supposed to be on stage. The twins didn't want people to notice him. It was almost sad how excited everyone was, eagerly waiting to be the one chosen by the twins. You, ma'am, Mabel said with a dramatic flourish, picking out one individual. The lady picked beamed and made her way to the stage. Don't mess up, Cypher. Will jumped. He hadn't heard Master come up next to him. Will looked at his master Dipper, and even though they were the same height, he still felt much smaller. No, Master, I won't let you down. You had better not. Master adjusted the dark gloves on his hands. He looked like the boy version of his twin sister. He had thick brown hair, but it was brushed off his forehead, exposing the big dipper-shaped constellation mark on his forehead. Will had wondered at first if anyone had teased him for it, but then he realized that no one would dare. While Mistress's blue eyes were hard and cruel, Master's burned with sharp intelligence. He was brilliant and cunning and on his way to be a fine magician like his great uncle. He already planned on being the next great magician, and heaven help anyone who stood in his way. Don't forget, we can make your existence miserable if you just please us. Isn't that what you're already doing? And with that cheery reminder, he twirled around, causing his cape to fan out behind him as he walked back on stage, beaming smile and eyes for the audience. The lady smiled at Master as he walked up on stage. Thanks for volunteering. Thank you for volunteering, my good lady. Master took her hand and bowed over it, the perfect gentleman. The lady giggled at his antics. What might your name be? Oh, it's Kristen. She smiled down at him. What a polite little boy. Will winced. Oh, geez. Uh, Master hated being called little or referred to as young. This would put Master in a bad mood later. To his credit, Master kept up the charming facade without hesitation. I mean, that only means he's going to take it out on Will, unfortunately. Thank you, ma'am. He gestured to the box. As you can see, there's nothing behind the box, no trapdoor under the box, and no hidden compartment inside the box. He gestured to each area as he talked. Would you like to inspect it yourself? The lady smiled as she walked around it, examining the edges, and even measured it with her arms. She finally admitted that it was a normal box. Of course it is, Mistress smiled. She put her finger on her cheek charmingly. Oh, goodness. You didn't think we would lie, do you? Oh, right, they're the Gleefuls. Jeez. The audience laughed and cried out that no, the perfect little Gleeful twins would never do anything so naughty. Um, Master gestured to the entrance. Ma'am, if you would be so kind, please step into the box. The lady stepped into it without hesitation, clearly taken in by the adorable twins. Now don't you worry, nothing is going to happen to you. He shut the door and swung around back to the audience with a dramatic spin. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will make this lovely lady, he paused for effect, disappear. The audience clapped delightedly. Please, Master held up both his hands. This is actually quite dangerous and requires total concentration. So please, good sirs and ladies, for the sake of Miss Kristen, be absolutely quiet. It worked, and the audience waited in silent anticipation of the trick. Master and Mistress stood on opposite sides in front of the box, facing each other. Master got a nod from Mistress that she was ready, and he looked past her to Will, eyes narrowing. Will crouched down, hands held ready, and nodded back. The twins began to chant in Latin and wave their arms about dramatically. The chanting and arm waving was useless fluff, but Will knew exactly what he was looking for. At the same time, Master and Mistress brushed their fingers against their amulets. Master's in his tie and Mistress's in her headband, activating their stronger magic. Once they did that, they both threw out their arms in front of them, causing blue smoke to cloud the box from view. The smoke was literally a smoke screen, though, as the true magic did something much more complicated. Teleporting someone through time and space to a different location is very hard and dangerous, even if you are a gifted telekinesis individual. It makes it a lot safer though for Dream Demon accompanies whatever you throw at the same time. The difference is as if you spun around until you were dizzy and then tossed a package as hard as you could, compared to having the postman deliver it to wherever you wanted to end up. To wherever you wanted it to end up. Needless to say, the package has no say in either choice. What what happened? Where am I? Miss Kristen sat up and looked around the room in shock. You were part of the gleeful twins' tentative telepathy show, Will said kindly. You were transported here by their minds. Why, that's amazing. The amazement left her eyes, though, as she gradually took in her surroundings. The floor, walls, and ceiling were all dark-colored, with little light to see by, but what little light there was reflected off the assortment of knives, daggers, and other weapons lined up on neat rows in the walls. You also couldn't miss the hospital operating table in the center of the room. Where am I? I'm afraid I can't tell you that, Will said sadly. Will you please accompany me over here? He led her over to a table. As she followed him, they passed several carts holding various vials of liquid as well as other creepy instruments and tools that looked like they came out of a fantasy video game. Will motioned to the table. Please sit up here. The subjects for his master's magic experiments and rituals rarely hopped up on the table of their own accord, but it was worth a shot. Just a second, Miss Kristen stuttered. I don't know about this. I only wanted to help out the adorable little magic twins. Oh, don't worry, you are, Will sighed. Clearly she would not be cooperating anymore. He snapped his fingers and she instantly fell asleep. He caught her with his magic, though, before she could faceplant into the floor, and as gently as he could laid her back on the table. Jeez. Alright, he began to arrange the various files and tools the twins would need. He very carefully went over to Master's workbench and reverently picked up Master's textbook to magic and his other resource, a leather-bound journal with a number 2 written on the cover. Both were written by Headmaster and both were precious to the twins, but to Master in particular. He was the more advanced of the two. He devoured as much knowledge about magic and the magical creatures of Gravity Falls as he could. He had already learned as much as he could from Journal 1, and so Headmaster had given him Journal 2. Headmaster had hidden the Journal 3 somewhere in the woods, so Master would only be able to find it once he had discovered all of the secrets of Journal 2. Um, he had just finished setting up when he heard the twins coming down the stairs. They had already changed into more practical outfits, mainly dark old clothes. Mistress had pulled her hair up and back, while Master had slicked his hair back as well. Will stepped back to see if they needed anything else. Master's eyes slid calculating over all the assembled materials, missing nothing. He then made a shooing motion with his hand at Will, before starting up some magic discussion with his twin. Will hurriedly left the room so they could practice whatever magical experiment, spell, or ritual that they needed to. He preferred to not be there when they got started. Will went back to cleaning around the big house. There were always chores to do, but none really pressing. It was getting late, but dream demons didn't sleep, and besides, the twins would need him to clean up after they were through. He could leave the house, but the twins didn't really like that, so there was no point in risking their wrath. Besides, if Headmaster needed them while he was gone and he missed his call, he would be sure to get into trouble when he came back. And he would always have to come back. He rubbed the shackles on his wrist absently. They were pretty loose, but he couldn't remove them, not even with magic. They were permanently hooked around his wrists. Not only did they keep him available to the twins' beck and call, but they could also be used to inflict punishments on him if the twins desired. The chains always kept him bound. If the twins desired, the chains always kept him bound to this dimension, and the chains also kept him bound to this dimension, and he could not return to the daydream realm with them on. He was stuck in this mortal world until the twins freed him, which, to be honest, seemed like it was a long time away. He had been serving Headmaster for close to 30 years now, but Headmaster would let him go back and forth between worlds. It was the twins who invented the ideas of chains that could bind a dream demon and imprison him. Combining the knowledge they had learned from Headmaster and applying some of their own ideas, they came up with the proper spell to manage it. Will hadn't even realized what was happening until it was too late. He walked to the window, and tilting his head back, he could make out some of the stars. He loved the stars. They looked kind of similar to the ones from his home dimension, although these only shone in one color, while the other ones back home had shimmered brightly in all the colors of the world's rainbows, and in some colors that did not even exist in this dimension. Too soon, though, he heard the twins coming back up the stairs. Will didn't wait for their call and went ahead and teleported to their side. The twins didn't even blink at his sudden appearance. Was it successful, Master? Will inquired. Yes, it was most rewarding, Master yawned. You know what to do. After you finish cleaning everything, be sure to leave the message for the butler. Yes, Master. Will nodded his head and headed downstairs. Once he entered the magic study, he could size up the damage. Oh, there was damage, all right. In addition to the 3 filled vials of Kristen's blood was all over the operating table and over her as well. What area of the table that was not covered by blood was covered in runes and symbols? Will glanced over some of them and, interpreting their meaning, shuddered. Poor Kristen, he mused as he laid a hand on her body. He took a deep, cleansing breath and allowed his healing power to flow into her body. Some of the other dream demons had made fun of how much time he had wasted practicing his healing art, instead of something more menacing like dream manipulation or possession. Laugh all they want, he was a top-notch healer now. Repairing her physical body wasn't hard and didn't take long, and within a matter of minutes and just a few spells of his own, the room was spotless and clean just as it was before. Now came the really difficult part. He closed his eyes and allowed himself to slip inside of her conscious. It was one of the unique abilities of a dream demon to be able to enter another person's mind and interfere with their dreams. They could also steal memories and possess someone as well, but that was a lot harder and much more complicated. He didn't need to steal memories today, though, just alter them. Everyone has some kind of mindscape, a place where all of their memories, important information, hopes, dreams, and fears that make up a person are housed. Everyone has a different looking house because of it. Some have a castle, others have a cabin. Once he found one that was just an igloo. The building will reflect back on the personality of the person. So Will just stared in shock as he took it in. Oh my. Well, it was kind of cute, I guess, by human standards. It looked like a nice cottage, complete with white picket fence and blue shutters. But this one looks like a hurricane, tidal wave, and hailstorm had decided to do a threesome tango in it. Will sighed. He had told the twins to be careful. You never know how magic can affect someone in their mind. Did they listen to him, though? Of course not. Did they listen to him, though? Of course not. Will sighed again as he approached the house. He floated over the lopsided picket fence, snapping his fingers and causing the boards to realign. As he entered the doorway, he touched the frame, causing the door to mend and attach back on its hinges. He continued like that throughout the whole house. It was time-consuming, but very rewarding as well. There was nothing like looking around at someone's mind and realizing you had a helping hand and putting it back into working order. Really, if you've never done that, you simply can't imagine it. Now for the last thing. Will headed over to the section titled Short Term Memories. It might also be in trauma and deep psychological fears, so he would have to check both. Thankfully, it was housed in the short term memories. The human mind is amazingly complicated and can handle a great many things. Some of the things that cause problems, though, are things that it can't understand and things that are traumatic. Unfortunately, the twins are both. Thankfully, the human mind will reject things or alter things to make it less scary and more understandable. So it was already meeting him halfway. It was it was already meeting him halfway as he went to work. Did you really just appear in the creepy basement? In a creepy basement? Of course not. You just fell backwards through the curtain out back. Why didn't you see it as you walked around the box? Elaborate illusions with mirrors. Once you were backstage, a nice boy took you somewhere to wait for the twins. You all sat down and had a lovely chat over tea, and then you went home. The twins are delightful and pleasant, the best kids you have ever seen. They're perfect little angels. Will thought for a moment. Once he had finished the script the twins had given him, the twins didn't tell him to do anything else, but they didn't forbid it either. And he had already seen her memories. And you should break up with Fred. You can do better. Oh. Pulling out, he felt his physical form solidify around him. He never really got used to it. It made him feel heavy and sluggish, particularly after being in someone's mindscape. He picked up a blanket from where he had stored them and gently draped it over her now peaceful sleeping form. He went to the stairs and pulled down a clipboard. She rode to the show with friends, so it won't be a problem. Take to her house so she can wake up there. He wrote the address underneath it. He hung it back up and started up the stairs. He glanced up at the clock. Oh, good, only a few more hours until everyone is up. As he made his way to the second floor rooms, where most of the bedrooms were located, the twins shared the suite at the end of the hall. He turned transparent so he could pass through the wall without opening the door and then solidified. He was in the main room of the suite with one bedroom jutting off at each side. The main room was joint study, playroom, living room, and dream demon prison. Stuck off to the side against one wall is a five-pointed star painted on the floor, about 2 meters wide, with his summoning symbols painted around it. Rising from the floor was what looked like iron bars, but they were much worse. They were magic iron, made that not even dream demons could pass in or out. Overall, it looked like a really weird bird cage, which was pretty much how it felt too. With a sigh, he passed through the open door and shut it behind him, locking it. He had considered staying out longer, but the master always seemed to know somehow, and it simply wasn't worth the pain. He curled up on his side, and making his finger ablaze in blue flame, began to write in the air so he could play tic-tac-toe against himself. It wasn't the most fun game, but at least he was doing something. Alright. He wasn't sure how long he amused himself by doing that. He supposed he could meditate or practice seeing the future or something, but just really didn't want to. His present was really bleak right now, and there was no point in looking to the future just to see more bleakness. It could always be worse, he thought to himself as he won the game. At least humans only live about 85 years or so I only have about 75 years left. It's not that long for an immortal dream demon. I will be fine. It will be fine. Who knows, maybe in a couple thousand years I can look back on this and laugh. Will raised his hand to start a new game and felt the chain fall back on his wrist. Or not. Um, yeah. Ugh. Will heard the door to the suite open at precisely 8:10 later that morning. The butler came in, expressionless like always, and deposited a steaming tray of the twins' breakfast on the table. With hardly a glance at Will, he left. Will heard the door to Master's room open at precisely 8:17. With a sizzle, his latest game fizzled out, and he sat up. Master was alert, but still looked a little sluggish. He was dressed in his blue pajamas, his silk navy robe hanging loosely off his shoulders. His eyes quickly flew about the room, taking in the details. He then went straight to the breakfast tray and got his cup of black coffee. He picked up a bowl of oatmeal and the newspaper and began to eat, not waiting for his sister. Will waited silently. Master was always in a foul mood before his coffee, so it was best to wait. Mistress finally appeared at her Mistress finally opened her door at 8:48, but unlike her brother, she was already dressed, complete with makeup and fabulously done hair. She went over to the tray and picked up her French vanilla latte and her own oatmeal and sat next to Dipper. Your coffee is cold, Dipper commented without looking up. I like it like this. You're the one who likes to scald his throat every morning, she responded with a delicate sip of her own. Anything interesting in the news? Nah, same old, same old. Boring. He scanned further down. Mabel sighed as she picked at her oatmeal. I guess that's to be expected. Well, at least we won't have anything to distract us from practicing. I want to do a little more research before we use the new blood and everything. Mabel gave a dramatic grin. A dramatic groan. You always want to research everything to death, brother dear. Haven't you ever just wanted to try something just to see what would happen? Not with magic. That's a good way to blow up your house. If you want to try, go ahead. But you explain to Great Uncle Ford why his house is gone. Dipper stood up and took one piece of toast off the tray. I'll be back in a few. He went to his room. He went back to his room. He Mabel sighed again and, pulling out her phone, began to scroll through her contacts. Maybe Candy and Glenda would be available to do something. Absently, she glanced over at Will. He was sitting cross-legged on the floor, watching her with just a hint of hopefulness in his expression. Oh well, might as well throw him a bone, she thought. With a snap of her fingers, the door to the cage unlocked and swung open. Thank you, mistress, he said, gratitude evident in his voice. He scrambled up and began and came he scrambled up and became to he scrambled up and came to stand behind her chair like the good little trained dog he was. She motioned for him to come stand next to her chair. She saw him scoot around, so he was in her vision. She ran a critical eye over his appearance. A servant will reflect back on his master, good or bad, Dipper had told her before. The note had probably read it somewhere. While her demon pet did look sharp, he was dressed in a collared, long-sleeved light blue shirt with a black bow tie. He wore a black vest over it and it matched his dress pants. He wore light blue sneakers to match his shirt. He was short. Dipper insisted that he would not allow him to be taller than him. They had considered making him shorter, but the usefulness of a really short demon was limited. In the end, they settled on making him their height. His facial features were pleasing, not that he would care, but Mabel wanted an eye candy servant, as he would have to occasionally accompany her out in public. His eye was easily his most striking feature, large and open, and surrounded by thick black lashes. It allowed the twins to read his emotion easier than a book. But then that was the whole point of making him have this semi-physical human form, because it allowed him to show his emotions of fear and terror better. It was too bad that he only had the one eye, but the eye patch did help as an element of mystery to him. Add an element of mystery to him, so it didn't take away anything. His hair was odd. It hung down in a shaggy mess, coverly it hung down in a shaggy mess, partly covering the patch, but the odd thing was its color. It was light blue, the exact same shade as his eye. That was something that had just happened, and at the time, they didn't realize how much work it would be to change it later on, so they just left it the way it was. Once he got used to the odd color, it wasn't bad. It helped lend exoticness to him. She finished her oatmeal and motioned for him to take it. He took it and began to stack the other dishes on the tray. She sipped her coffee absently while he worked. Maybe she shouldn't call Candy and Glenda today. She should make them suffer for ditching her yesterday. Although it wasn't really their fault, but that was no excuse. Ditching was still ditching, but if she didn't call them, what would she do today? Does Guncle Ford need you today? She asked, not bothering to look at him. Yes, he said to come down at 9:15 to work on the equations for the new portal. She glanced at the clock. Ugh, it was too close. Go and take the dishes down on your way out. Yes, mistress. He gathered up the tray and headed out. Give me a minute. Okay. Hang on. Alright. I'm at a stop after the third chapter. Will sat in Headmaster's study on the floor and shuffled through the notes. He scanned them all briefly, committing them to memory. He glanced up when he had finished. Headmaster was reading a book on quantum mechanics while he absently drank his tea. Headmaster insisted on his tea having exactly 1.5 tablespoons of sugar in it. Okay. Will organized the notes and laid them on the table next to Headmaster's elbow. Will picked up a notebook full of complicated equations about interdimensional physics. Headmaster was trying to see how to keep the portal from collapsing. It was a repeating problem. Sure, building the first portal had only taken 6 years, but building a stable portal is a bit harder. What just happened? Hang on. I need my freaking... I need my charger. Alright. I think after the second chapter of this, I'm gonna read something else. I have other different kinds of fan fiction that I want to read. I have so many shows that I love that I want to read fan fiction about. Okay, anyway, oh geez, where was I? What was the point of building a stable portal? Portal is a bit harder. What was the point of traveling across dimensions if reality will just be torn apart? Hence, lots of work, studying, research, and trial and error to get it right. It also didn't help that they no longer had Fiddleford to help build the thing, and Headmaster had the twins to keep an eye on. Great Uncle Ford. Will turned at the sound of Master's voice. Master was trying his best to remain calm and collected in his great uncle's presence, but Will had been here long enough to recognize the excitement in Master's voice and mannerisms. I was looking over the energy associated with my manipulation, and I think I found a connection between the energy of electromagnetic pulses of the brain activity and corresponding energy found in channeling the thermokinetic energy in blood. What in the hell does that mean? Really, Dipper? Let me have a look at it. Headmaster put down his book and held out his hand for it. Find it. Jeez, there we go. Let me have a look at it. Headmaster put down his book and held out his hand for it. Master eagerly laid his notebook in his hand. The headmaster looked over them for a minute, and Dipper waited nervously. Interesting, he finally murmured. He turned and handed them lazily to Will. What do you think, Will? Will took the notes and scanned over them, noting the complex equations Master had neatly transcribed. After studying them for a few seconds, he realized something. The change in enthalpy is off by 0.0002 for human blood. Based on that, the rest of the equation is flawed. You wouldn't be able to compensate for it based on your measurements. It might be possible, though, if maybe your calculations are wrong, blurted out Master as he snatched his notebook away. Obviously they're not gonna listen to him. You looked at them for practically no time at all. Now that Will was not looking at the notes, he could see the expression on Master's face, slightly flushed cheeks. His voice clipped with anger. All in all, it did not look like it would be well for him later on. Dipper, what have I told you about arguing with Will about your homework? Headmaster picked up his book again, losing interest in his great-nephew. He is an immortal dream demon. If he says it doesn't work, then it won't. Don't waste time fighting with him about it. But he is stupid and useless, Dipper. His pride hurt and upset about being dismissed from his great-uncle so easily was being more emotional than normal. This stupid and useless dream demon, Headmaster said icily, is information incarnate. He is ages old and he has seen and heard much. All that information is stored in there. He lightly rapped Will in the center of his forehead and with his book causing him to wince. Will knows things, he just doesn't know it. It's all jumbled together in there with no rhyme or reason to it. Master paused. So kind of like a computer you have forgotten to defrag. It slows down until it is barely running. All of the information is trapped behind that idiotic personality. Yes, agreed Headmaster. It's as if all the pieces of 100 different puzzles are all mixed together and you forgot what each one is supposed to look like. It takes a while to make any progress. Will felt a little insulted by the conversation, but that was no surprise. Headmaster was brilliant and prideful, and Master was on his way to copying him. He did know that hanging on to details was hard for him, but then what was the point? What was the point? All things change anyway. Both of them turned and looked at him. Can you imagine, Dipper? Headmaster said, seeing what he has seen, knowing what he must know. All of the secrets of the universe locked away in there. So much raw information. Will shuddered at how both of them were looking at him. It reminded him of a predator watching his prey as he stalked forward to devour it. Headmaster turned back to Master. Now continue with your studies. Come back when you have something to show me. Yes, great Uncle Ford. Dipper turned and left, a little subdued, but he didn't seem angry anymore, so that was good. Will went back to the equations, but couldn't really focus on them. After a few pointless minutes, he stopped. Headmaster, yes. May I ask you a question? Headmaster gave a mild snort of amusement. You may ask 2 questions because you already asked one. Will paused, having to think through that, and Headmaster continued. What is it, Will? What will you do once we finish the portal? I mean, will you still need me? Oh, I'm sure that I will always need you, Headmaster replied without even looking up from his book. Um, but, well, Headmaster replied without looking up from his book. Even though his voice sounded the same, it suddenly reminded Will of a cat's purr. Oh, Will paused for a moment. What will happen, though, if you learn all you can from me? What will happen if I am no longer useful to you? Now Headmaster put down the book and, leaning forward, slipped one of his gloved hands beneath Will's chin, forcing Will to look him straight in the eye. It made Will uncomfortable being stared down by those intelligent eyes. I want to have your full attention, Will, Headmaster said darkly. Do I have it? Will felt the air start to dance and charge around him, making the hairs on his arms stand up. Yes, Headmaster, Will managed to say with difficulty as his head was being pushed back. Good. Now listen very carefully, because I don't want you to ever forget it. Each word was steel, punctuated by the magical charge in the air. It would be in your best interest to always be needed by me. You are another source of information to me, like the many books I collect. What happens, Will, when a book is no longer useful to me? You throw it out. No, Will, I cast it out. I throw it in the trash to rot and decay for as long as its form remains. With all the other trash I deem useless, it will go to a place of filth and decay, unheard of and not cared for by everyone until no one could even recognize it. And even then, no one will care what has happened to it, because everyone knows that book with its knowledge spent is just a waste of matter at that point. Headmaster's eyes narrowed. So tell me, dear Will, how long do you think you will be useful to me? Many, many years, Headmaster, Will said around horribly dry lips. He wasn't sure how Headmaster would accomplish that to a dream demon, but a few years ago he didn't think he could be bound to the physical world by chains either, or that he could be so damaged by a magical fight that it would leave him permanently blind and scarred in one eye. He knew that it was best not to challenge the gleeful family. I'm very glad to hear it, Will. Headmaster smiled, and Will shuddered. Headmaster turned his head and ran his thumb down the side of Will's face. I would miss you, he said with almost affection. Now get back to work, my precious dream demon. Yes, Headmaster. Will turned back to the equations and found that he still could not focus on them. There's a freaking fly. Author's notes. Tentative telepathy show. I know in some versions of Reverse Falls, the twins really do kill people as part of the show. I have a problem with this because if you do it over and over, eventually someone will notice that people are disappearing. Even with the memory gun and the level of stupidity of the residents in Gravity Falls, it creates too many problems. I decided to use Will to alter memories was a delete. It was a decent solution. Will's appearance. There are many different versions of Will in his human form. I just made up one that would be close to a Bill cosplay. The other difference in clothes is the shirt color and the top hat is missing. I made the shoes different because I thought he would not care as much as Gravity Falls Bill about appearance. Also, I would probably cosplay Will as I will probably cosplay Will at some point in the future, and I wanted to wear comfortable shoes. You are welcome, fellow cosplayers. Thanks for taking the time to read this. This one is up a bit later than I hoped, but it is really long by my standards. Hopefully, I can get the next one up in the next week or two. I appreciate all the views, likes, favorites, and follows. If anyone has any writing advice, questions, or just wants to be an encouragement, please send me a review. All feedback, good and bad, is appreciated as I strive to be a better writer. Thanks. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're only 2 chapters in, and it's already been an hour and 20 minutes. We might go to something else. I'm just gonna go. You know what? Smosh fanfiction. Yeah, I'm going back to my root. Jeez. Smosh fanfiction. Yep, I'm going back to my roots. Remember the first Smosh fanfiction I ever read? Just a joke. Hang on. This first fanfiction I ever read was first fanfiction. First fanfiction I ever read was a Smosh fanfiction. So, Smosh. Yeah, what if we, Anthony. There. Okay. Right. See what we got. Oh, jeez. What the hell? Okay. What? There's a lot of it. Wait, hang on. There's a lot of, okay, hang on. No. What was this? Written when I was like 13. Oh my gosh. Chapters 5, words 5,000. Okay. Why we're not single? Alright, sure. Holy crap. They were trying to get to 50,000, and they ended up reaching 259,000. Holy jeez. Wow, so I was gonna donate something to their little thing that popped up there, but obviously I don't need to, because they got like 5 times what they were trying to get. Yeah. Okay. It's just so Hanky's POV. Hang on. What is this called? I were not single, right? Okay. What is this? PO switches like a goddamn verse. I was really rude. I was weirdly really rude to Joven, and I apologize. Also, why did I refer to gay attraction as man crush ES? Especially more love triangles than the goddamn pyramids of Giza. Don't read this. I'm reading it anyway. Okay. Oh, I thought I just saw something. Oh, see the end of the work for now. Okay. Yeah. So, but what? I keep yawning. Part 1. I know you've heard this all before, the same story. Oh, so Hinky's POV. I know you've heard this all before, the same story. Boy meets girl, boy becomes girl's friend, boy falls for girl, girl friend zones him, boy doesn't get over her. It's the same repeating thing every day. Usually it results in a heartbreak for the hero and a happy ending for everyone else. At least that's the way I've always heard of it. I don't know about any of you guys, but that's the way I know it. So I suppose I'll tell you my story. Hi, how are you? The name's Matt. Matt Sohinky, welcome to my life. I suppose I might as well introduce you to all of my friends. My best friend is Dave. Everyone calls him Lasercorn because of a tattoo he got with a unicorn shooting lasers. He's epic. You don't say. What the hell? Are you kidding? That's a thing? Yeah, I never watched any of the new Smosh videos. Oh, big so I can't stop yawning. Big surprise. I don't like the new Smosh because they used to. I liked it when it was just mostly Ian and Anthony. Anyway, I don't. Jeez, whatever. I don't care. It's annoying. Anyway, it's frustrating. Like, anyway, the point is, I really don't like new Smosh and all their new videos, especially now that Anthony left. So I never watched their new videos, so I never knew why his name was Lasercoin. I don't even remember all of them. Like I didn't remember Matt Sohinky from the videos because I never watched that stuff. I just watched the old videos. Lunchtime with Smosh, mail time with Smosh, Smosh is bored, all of it. Like I watch their old skit videos. I love it. Ugh. They had such a big impact on my childhood, and I don't want to ruin it by watching their new videos. So many people agree with me too. They all love Smosh back when, like way back when. Um, Anyway, another one of my friends is Jovenshire. I call him Jay simply because his first name is Joshua, last name Ovenshire, thus a nickname was born. Our other friends are Ian Hecox, Mr. Bowl Haircut, Anthony Padilla, Mr. Emo Hair, and Mara Takahashi, Ma, Mat, Mata, Mata Raishuni, Mata Raishuni from Smosh. They're very funny and very cool, which is where the whole ordeal comes in. I like Maury, but I think Joven likes Maury too, and she likes him back. She's told me about it. Sometimes I wish I didn't know. Joven isn't even that great. What does she see in him? He's one of the worst people I know. Sometimes I wonder why I like Maury. She's insane. Lasercorn's POV. Alright. Okay, I know what you'll say once I tell you. You'll say, "What?" I know, it's shocking, but bear with me. Okay, here, I'll tell you. I'm in love with someone other than my fiance, and I hate it. I hate him, and why of all people was it him? Why couldn't it have been a girl or at least a decent guy? Why of all people do I love him? He's the douchiest of douches, the most annoying person alive. Are you talking about Ian? Just a mere mention of his name makes me cringe in disgust. I'm guessing you have a clear depiction of just who exactly I'm talking about, but I still won't tell you because he pisses me off. Okay, fine, I might tell you, but you have to promise me that you won't tell a single soul. Not even to my best friend Sohinky. You swear? You sure? Because if I tell you and someone magically finds out, I'm going to have to summon the laser corn on my back to murder you. Every single one of you. Okay, are you 100% sure you want to know? Jesus, yes, just tell me. Jeez, don't get all pissy, I'm telling you. Okay, so I may or may not be in love with Jovenshire. Oh my gosh. Ian's POV. Bromance is what you might call it. That unbreakable bond between two guys who are best friends, up to the point where it's sort of creepy. They're so close that people wonder if maybe they're gay. That's what lots of people say about me and my best friend Anthony. I wouldn't necessarily agree. I don't feel I don't feel that way towards Anthony. To be truthful, I've always liked Lasercorn. It's not really a secret to everyone but Lasercorn. Anthony knows, Maury knows, Joven knows, Sohinki knows, just not Lasercorn. Preferably, I'd like to keep it that way. No one must ever tell Lasercorn. It scares me half to death that he could possibly find out about my liking him. Even worse, his fiance might find out and kick my ass. I'm a weak person. Anyone would be able to kick my ass. Even Molly could be able to if she wanted to. Funny how that's never bothered me until now. It's all a crazy situation to deal with, but a few years from now, we'll all look back and laugh at ourselves, right? I could see future me laughing hysterically at his past man crush on Laserborn. But right now, I'm not future me. Right now, I'm present me, and the man crush is still in full effect. Joven's POV. I have the best job in the entirety of the world. I get to play video games with the funniest people I know. Who wouldn't love that job? Come on, be honest. Another perk is that I get to be near Mari Takahashi. She's pretty smart, nerdy, and a gamer. Then that makes her the perfect girl. She's everything a guy could ever want. I admit I have a slight schoolboyish crush on her, but then again, what guy wouldn't? I know Sohinki likes her. I can tell when someone obviously likes someone, and that crush is evident. But here's the thing, I don't really care. I know he likes her, but so do I. I want Molly's awesomeness for my own, and I'm going to ensure that I will be hers. So, Hinky, I have a huge amount of respect for you, but you're not going to get the girl. We all know that I've got more charisma than you. I know how fans think you and Molly will one day become more Hinky. But let's face it, Mohinky, it's just not real. Now, Shire, on the other hand, let's be real here. Let's be honest here. Mori plus Joven equals the ultimate team. Mori plus Sohinki equals a disaster in progress. Anthony's POV. It's funny how opinions about people change. One minute you can hate someone's guts, the next you might be their best friend. That's what makes opinions great. They're always changing. My first serious opinion change happened when Ian and I lost a game bang and had to do a romantic dance. Ian ran out of the room, horrified that the two of us almost kissed. I, on the other hand, was seriously contemplating leaning into the few inches that separated our faces. My opinion on Ian changed from being my best friend to my man crush. I never hated any opinion more than that of my own towards Ian Hecox. I haven't thought about him that way for even a second before then. Now it seems like it's all I think about. Sometimes it makes me smile. Other days it pisses me off. I really don't know what to think. Should I tell anyone about it? Should I keep it to myself? Should I hold on to it? Should I ignore everything? Whoa, hold on. Get a grip, Anthony. You need to stop overthinking this whole thing. Get it the hell together. Why can't I just let it go and focus on our friendship? Am I doomed to chase wildly after something I can never have? I don't know. Molly's POV. Here's my to-do list. Wake up, breathe, eat, drive to the Smosh Games HQ. Hope I don't cause a wreck due to being an Asian woman driver. It's a joke. Get to the HQ, edit shows, stare longingly at Joven, edit more on occasion, film Super Mario Fun Time or game. But stare longingly at Joven. If not picked, edit overnight, go home, go to bed and sleep. If picked, edit, then go home, then sleep. Repeat the whole process. Throw in filming Smosh Pit weekly on Fridays. Welcome to the insane life of Mari Takahashi with your host, the one and only Mari herself. So I suppose you now know about my crush on Joven. Yeah, I didn't think I would ever like Joven, but here I am admitting his dorkiness. How I hate being so happy around someone so vile. Why can't I like someone else? Freaking Ovenshire. Oh well, I can't go on and on about liking someone I can't stand. I have a life to get back to, like video game and cats, and filming Super Mario Fun Time, and Game Bang, and Smosh Pit Weekly. Yeah, as you can clearly see, my life is fabulous. Having friends like Ian, Anthony, Sohinki, Joven, Gag, and Lasercorn will do that. Alright, I think we're done. Yeah, I've been recording for like an hour and a half. I'm gonna, yeah. Alright. So, it's been fun, I think. It's been whatever. I don't know. I'll be back tomorrow probably. I really want to do Papers, Please, but that's going to be an upload because I have some editing techniques that I've been dying to try. So, and now that I have my editing program, I really want to do some more editing. Plus, I can't keep doing streams. Plus, I can't keep doing streams because it's going to end up. I can't keep doing streams because I'm going to end up running out of time. I think I only have like 20 hours. And I've already probably used like half of it. So I love each and every one of you guys. Please don't forget to always be yourself. And I'm Vanilla. I'm gonna go. Can't. Okay. Love you. Bye.